What if the power to defeat cancer already lay within the human body? In the UK, around 400,000 people are diagnosed with cancer every year. That's 1,100 people every single day. Right here in Manchester, lung cancer incidence is 24% higher than the national average, and that's particularly bad because lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death. However, thanks to scientific breakthroughs, some of which happen right here in Manchester, cancer mortality rates have fallen by 11% in the past 10 years. One such scientific breakthrough is the advent of immunotherapy, which are a suite of treatments based around the simple idea of hacking the body's own immune system to fight and destroy cancer cells. Now, for many people with cancer, immunotherapy treatments have completely changed the game. In one type of skin cancer, the average patient survival was just 6 months. After the introduction of immunotherapy, the average patient survival was over 6 years. Trials taking place in the Christie, just down the road, have seen people diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, given less than a year to live, become completely cancer-free after immunotherapy treatment. It's no wonder then that the scientists who discovered the key mechanisms behind immunotherapy were awarded the Nobel Prize in 2018. But how does it work? The immune system is the body's very own inbuilt defense system. And a crucial part of this defense system are the T cells, which are often referred to as the special ops team of the body. This is because they are an elite group of operatives that patrol the body, looking for dangers and helping to eliminate them. As T cells roam the body, they have the power to stop other cells and ask them for identification. Healthy cells put molecules on their surface that act as a kind of ID and say, yes, I'm healthy and I'm supposed to be here. However, if, say, you have a viral infection, the virus makes changes to the cells in your body, which mean they are no longer able to present the right ID. So when that patrolling T cell comes along, it's able to identify the intruder and trigger that cell's destruction, because T cells are licensed to kill. However, we don't want T cells to be in attack mode constantly. This can lead to inflammation and healthy cells becoming damaged. So, to overcome this, T cells come with an off switch called an immune checkpoint, which essentially acts as a stand-down signal. Now, this defense system should also be able to protect the body against cancer. The cell is not healthy, the patrolling T cell comes along, recognizes this, and triggers the cell's destruction. However, tumors have evolved sneaky ways to evade the immune system. One of the ways they do this is by sending signals that activate that T cell off switch, meaning the tumour can grow, unhindered by the very mechanisms that were meant to safeguard the body against it. But this is where immunotherapy comes in. One specialised type of immunotherapy, called immune checkpoint inhibitor treatment, tries to solve this precise issue. The way the drug works is by blocking that stand-down signal, either by stopping the cancer cells from sending the signal or by stopping the T cells from receiving the signal. This reinvigorates the T cells and helps them get back to work. Another brand new and super exciting form of immunotherapy are called T cell engagers. Now, these drugs basically have 2 arms. One of these arms is capable of recognizing and grabbing a cancer cell, and the other arm is capable of recognizing and grabbing a T cell. Now, when these cells are brought in close proximity to each other, this wakes the T cell up and the killing can begin. Now, I've already told you about some of the amazing success stories we've had with immunotherapy, but unfortunately, the treatment does not work for everybody. In fact, though it is dependent on the cancer type and stage, only an estimated 20 to 40% of people respond well to immunotherapy. And what's more, the treatment can come with some side effects, which can range from fatigue, a headache, to much more severe presentations that can be seriously damaging to health. So, at the 2 extremes, we have a treatment that could hugely reduce a person's cancer, or it could not help at all and decrease that patient's quality of life. So how do I tell who is going to be who? What we need here is a predictive biomarker. And this basically just means a biological test that we can do before treatment that tells me whether or not that person in particular is likely to respond well. Perhaps the obvious way of trying to learn more about a person's cancer is through biopsying the tumour. However, depending on the tumour site, this could require invasive surgery, which could be uncomfortable, complicated, have a long waiting list. Instead, thanks to a rapidly expanding field of science, we are now able to learn a lot from a simple blood test. A single drop of blood, to use a technical term, contains an absolute boatload of information. For example, blood contains fragments of DNA. This DNA usually comes from healthy cells, but we are now also able to detect DNA that's come from tumours. We can also sometimes identify whole cancer cells in the blood, particularly in aggressive malignancies like lung cancer. These cells have broken away from the main tumour and then hitched a ride around the body via the bloodstream. Crucially, we can also glean information about the immune system from the blood by checking in with our old friend, the T cell, while they're out on patrol. We can count how many special operatives there are and whether they're fighting fit and ready enough to get the job done. So, through analysing these features in blood samples kindly donated by people undergoing immunotherapy treatments, we hope to identify biomarkers that tell us whether that person will respond favourably to treatment or whether they're likely to experience any nasty side effects. Looking forward, instead of taking a one-size-fits-all approach, we hope to use a simple blood test to ensure that every person gets the treatment that will best benefit them personally. What's more, if we can understand why you're unlikely to respond to treatment, then we can get to work trying to find ways to change that. All of which will take us one step closer to achieving our shared goal of a cancer-free future. Thank you.